The Arabian oryx and the northern white rhinoceros are both mammals. Fig. 5.1 is a photograph of an Arabian oryx. Fig. 5.2 is a photograph of a northern white rhinoceros. 8. Describe two pieces of evidence visible in Fig. 5.1 and Fig. 5.2 that show these animals are mammals. Hair, fur, external ears, pinnae. 5b. Different conservation methods are used to try to prevent species from becoming extinct. A population of the Arabian oryx and a population of northern white rhinoceros were monitored. Fig. 5.3 shows how the population size of each species has changed over time. I calculate the percentage increase in the number of Arabian oryx between 1990 and 2000. Give your answer to three significant figures. Space for working. 247, 3. MP1 correct readings from graph of 75 and 260. MP2 correct calculation. 185 divided by 75 times 100 equals 246.66. MP3 correct rounding to three significant figures ECF MP2 and MP3. 5be. Describe the data for the northern white rhinoceros shown in Fig. 5.3. NE3 from. Overall decrease in numbers ref to increase then decrease. In 1980 there are 15 rhinoceros. Numbers of rhinoceros increased to 32 in 2003. Numbers of rhinoceros decreased to 2 in 2020. Data manipulation. Correct comparison of difference in rate of increase-decrease. 5c. Suggest the conservation methods that were used to increase the number of Arabian oryx between 1978 and 2000. NE3 from. Providing habitats, protected areas, laws to prevent, limit, hunting, poaching. Education, captive breeding programs, use of AI, e.g. reintroduction programs, legislation. 5d. Explain the risks to the northern white rhinoceros species as a result of its population size. NE3 from. 1. Inbreeding. 2. Lack of genetic diversity. 3. Increased risk of genetic diseases, mutation. 4. Reduced ability to survive changes in the environment. 5. Increased risk of extinction. 6. Only small population. Sex unknown, difficult to locate each other, too old to breed. 0610_W23_Ms_41. 5. Fig. 5.1 shows the changes in the percentage of the total global fish stocks that are overfished and those that are sustainable. 8. Use the information in Fig. 5.12. I. State the percentage of fish stocks that were sustainable in 2020. 66%. 1. 5a. State which 5-year period had the greatest increase in sustainable fish populations. 1985 to 1990. 1. 5b. Overfishing is one reason why populations of fish decline. Explain the risks to a species if its population size decreases. NE3 from. Reduction in genetic variation, reduced gene pool. Inbreeding. Idea of an increase in the frequency of recessive alleles. Described consequence of having too many recessive alleles. Risk of extinction. Idea of unable to find mates. 5c. Describe and explain how fish stocks can be managed sustainably and how overfishing can be prevented through conservation. NE6 from. 1. Education, awareness. 2. Monitoring the populations. 3. Ref. To net type. 4. Ref. To mesh size. 5. Reduced demand to eat from unsustainable fish stocks. 6. Alternative sources of fish. 7. Treaties, licenses, fines, ls. Making it illegal. 8. Legal quotas, restricted catch weight. 9. No catch zones, nursery zones, protected areas, marine protected areas. 10. Fish farms. 11. Closed fishing season. 12. Restocking, captive breeding and release. 0610_M19_Ms_42. 4. Pollution is the harm done to the environment by the release of substances from human activities. Table 4.1 shows the names of some pollutants, their sources and their effects on the environment. A complete table 4.1. Sulfur dioxide, burning fossil fuels, acid rain. Carbon dioxide, burning fossil fuels, enhanced greenhouse effect. Methane, cattle and rice farming, enhanced greenhouse effect. Fertilizers, arable agriculture, eutrophication. 4b. When fertilizer is applied to fields, it can lead to eutrophication in lakes and rivers. I. Describe and explain what happens in lakes when eutrophication occurs. Named fertilizer leached into rivers, streams, lakes. Producer growth, algal bloom, algae growth, plant growth. Death of producers. Increased decomposition, increased decomposers. Increased respiration, aerobic. Decomposers use up the oxygen in the water. Organisms, fish, creatures, die, suffocate, migrate, due to lack of oxygen. 4b. Suggest ways in which a farmer could reduce the chances of eutrophication occurring when applying fertilizer to crops. Use less correct amount of fertilizer. Calculate how much fertilizer is needed. Use slow-release fertilizers. Do not apply during, after rain. When rain is forecast, limit watering. Do not use near water. Make channels between land and water body. Only apply when crops will take up fertilizer are growing. 0610_S20_Ms_42. 4. Some crop farmers use herbicides on their fields. Fig. 4.1 shows a farmer spraying a rice crop with herbicides. A. Herbicides kill weeds. Explain why farmers use herbicides. To increase crop yield, production. To reduce competition with weeds. 4b. Compare the concentrations of herbicide A and herbicide B in the lake. Use the information in Fig. 4.2 to support your answer. Concentration of both herbicides decreased with time described. A higher concentration than B throughout. B reached zero concentration before A. Comparative data quote with units stated. A steeper than B initially. 4b. Suggest how herbicides damage ecosystems in a lake. Kills water plants, algae. Lack of producers, food for herbivores. Bioaccumulation described. Reduced biodiversity. Lack of roots causes erosion, silting, flooding. 4c. Herbicide A is a synthetic plant hormone called 2,4-D that selectively kills dicotyledonous plants only. State 2 features that distinguish leaves of dicotyledonous plants from leaves of monocotyledonous plants. Network branched, veins. Broad leaves. Petiole. 4c. State the name of a natural plant hormone that stimulates cell elongation. Auxin. 1. 4c. Herbicide B is a chemical that prevents the uptake of magnesium ions. Suggest how herbicide B kills plants. Ne3 from. No chlorophyll synthesis. Cannot trap sunlight. Cannot photosynthesize.